Hello everybody and welcome to my YouTube channel. So yeah, I think malinaw naman yung intention ng video na to. We are obviously gonna talk about obligations and contracts. I am very curious kung bakit ka nandito, so I would highly appreciate it kung i-comment mo yung reason para alam ko kung sino yung mga audience ko. It's possible na you are an accounting student kasi obligations and contracts, or possible naman na yung program mo is related to business. It's even possible na you're a law student. I'll never know. Pa-comment na lang. But the point is, sinearch mo tong video na to. Or sinearch mo yung obligations and contracts sa YouTube and nahanap mo yung YouTube channel ko, which is good. Yeah. Hindi ito lumalabas kusa sa YouTube. You have to search this specifically para lumabas yung algorithm sa YouTube. But yeah, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm gonna give you a quick disclaimer. Hindi ko matuturo lahat sa ating course. However, I do hope madami kayong matutunan sa akin. So without further ado, let's discuss the objectives of the course. We have 3 main objectives. Simulan natin sa una, legal framework. Ang legal framework na ating susundan is obviously the Philippines. Kailangan ang ating understanding of the obligations and contracts ay dapat in compliance with the civil code. Sa totoo lang, masarap pag-aralan talaga yung batas, no? Kahit anong batas man yan, civil code, penal code, omnibus election code, masarap pag-aralan ng batas. And may mga cases talaga na hindi mo magagamit yung common sense mo sa batas because our framework doesn't work that way. If you don't know the law, then most likely you might break the law without you being aware of it. And pag umabot na yan sa korte, lamang talaga yung may alam. And it's even highly possible na may mga articles or mga legal concepts dito na highly disagree ka. Pero wala eh. Dura lex sed lex. The law is harsh, but it is the law. Kaya our number 1 goal or objective sa course na to is for you to understand the legal framework governing obligations and contracts in the Philippines, and dapat in compliance ito with the civil code. Of course, once naintindihan mo na yung legal framework, our second objective is to apply the legal principles to real-life scenarios. Makapag-resolve ka ng mga disputes or makapag-draft ka ng valid arguments with proper knowledge. So, yun yung purpose. And of course, it will develop your ability to analyze. Mas lalawak ang iyong problem-solving skills sa pag-intindi ng mga contract na na-breach, mga liabilities, and yung mga possible na remedies under the Philippine law. So I'm very excited sa course na to. I do hope may notebook ka kasi madami-dami ang ating pag-aaralan. But yeah, it's very fun. So to start off our course, simulan muna natin ito sa Civil Code of the Philippines or Republic Act 386. So this is just my definition of the Civil Code. This is a collection of laws that governs private relations between individuals, including family matters, property, contracts, and obligations. So hindi po ito criminal. Magkaiba yung penal code sa civil code. Kung gusto mong i-discuss yung mga rape, murder, and stuff like that, gagawa ko ng course regarding sa penal code. But this is the civil code that we're talking about. It's very different. And malawak din yung civil code. To be specific, sa sobrang lawak na civil code, it's divided into 4 main books. The first one is Persons and Family Relations. Second is Property, Ownership, and its Modifications. Third one is Different Modes of Acquiring Ownership. And ang ating i-discuss, the fourth book, Obligations and Contracts. Now, it's also important to understand na sa 4 na librong yan, it's very possible na kahit obligations and contracts talaga ang course natin, hindi talaga may iwasan na i-discuss natin yung 1, 2, and 3 na books dahil sobrang connected nila. Kaya dapat mas maintindihan natin yung pinaka-meaning ng civil. So, in law, civil refers to the branch that deals with private rights. Ang keyword natin dito is private rights and disputes between individuals or organizations rather than crimes. Pag sinabi kasi nating crime, crimes are considered offenses against the state or society in general. Halimbawa, nagnakaw ka or nanira ka ng gamit. nakaka-harm po ito sa victim mo, pero hindi lang sa victim, but to public peace in general. Pag sinabi namang civil disputes, ito yung mga conflicts between private individuals, tulad ng mga hindi pagkakasundo dahil sa kontrata, mga damage sa property. Ang goal ng crime is to punish para maprotektahan ang public order. Ang goal naman ng civil is to compensate. Halimbawa, may isang driver na lasing. Dahil lasing siya, hindi niya napansin na nakasagasa pala siya ng taong dumadaan sa pedestrian lane. Of course, yung nasagasaan niya ay nag-cause ng injury. So ano yung criminal case natin dito? Ang criminal case natin dito ay reckless imprudence resulting in physical injury. So ano yung parusa sa driver dahil nagdadrive siya ng lasing? Pwede siyang makulong. Yun yung parusa. Paano naman yung nasagasaan? Siya na nga tong nasagasaan, siya pa magbabayad ng hospital bills. So, the goal of civil case is to compensate. Meaning, i-restore yung victim sa kanyang original na state, either financially or emotionally. Pero kung lalawakan mo yung pag-iisip mo dito, no, yung driver kasi, oo, isa lang yung nabiktima niya. Pero dahil sa pagdadrive niya nang lasing siya, he is endangering public safety. So talagang the purpose of crime is to punish that driver sa kanyang reckless imprudence. And syempre, yung madadamay dito, kailangan talaga silang i-compensate. Pero syempre, habang lumalalim ang knowledge mo sa civil code, you will understand na unfortunately, may mga bagay na hindi kayang bayaran or ibalik gamit ang pera. So, buti na lang in our law, we have compensatory damages and different forms yun. Pero tsaka na natin i-discuss yun. For now, let us now start our lesson talaga. What is an obligation? So, Article 1156, pinaka-iconic talaga to, no? Article 1156 of the Civil Code of the Philippines, an obligation is a juridical necessity to give, to do, or not to do. Let's break down the article. Simulan natin sa to give. Very self-explanatory naman yung to give. Halimbawa, umorder ka sa isang online shopping platform. Si seller, meron siyang obligation to give kung ano yung in-order mo. Of course, ikaw din meron kang obligation to pay. Yung pay na yun, technically pera yun gamit din yun. So you're giving money. And it's also important to understand na pag sinabi nating give, may kinalaman ito sa physical na object. Hindi ka pwede magbigay ng pagmamahal because ang pagmamahal is an act of to do. For example niyan, ang iyong magulang or ikaw kung magulang ka, it is your obligation to take care of your son or daughter. So pag sinabi nating to do or not to do, we are under the impression na this is an action. Pero gamitin natin yung example na to. Halimbawa, nag-hire ka ng isang contractor para, para i-renovate yung bahay mo, something like that. Si contractor ay may obligation to do kasi yun ang usapan nyo sa kontrata. And of course, meron din naman tayong obligations not to do. So paano po yan? Halimbawa, naninirahan ka lang sa isang apartment kung saan nagbabayad ka monthly ng rent. Of course, you have the obligation not to damage the property. Also, kung may bago kang natutunan na legal term or actually sa kahit anong term sa buhay na tingin mong sobrang relevant sa'yo, I highly suggest na pag-aralan mo yung history ng word na to. I-search mo yung etymology. So, ang origin ng obligation is from Latin, which means obligare, to bind someone to something. Gawin yung kailangan, gawin yung pinag-usapan. It is a juridical necessity.